correct call.
Stands second set.
You know, Pam, it's hard to imagine that just one match and one call would have made that much of a difference, because the chase review was probably going to be introduced anyway. But if there was that moment, that was it in that match.
30-15.
Because it was an unbelievable moment, which you will see if you tune in to Classic on Wednesday at 9.
There was also an Australian Open final between the two Belgians, Justine Henin and Kim Clijsters, and Clijsters got hammered about 5 times by terrible calls, and we on ESPN had that match live, and we had shot spot then, but it was not used officially.
Carsten Ball, I don't know what the story is.
You know, if a tennis player's got to take care of his own side of the court, that's for sure. You've got to worry about your game, but sometimes you can draw a lot of confidence by just taking a look down the other end. That's what Sam should be doing now, because the life is being sucked out of Carsten. I'm not quite sure why. This is also the most tennis that he's played coming through the qualifying and making it through to a final at this level. And he looks really tired.
Well, I mentioned that his trip to the final almost ended before it started, because during the qualifying he tweaked a muscle in his back. I'm not sure that that's what's the issue here.
And being physically and emotionally tired is really the only excuse for something we're going to show you after this game that happened, Sam Querrey's last service game. I think it's inexcusable anytime, particularly in a final.
So lackadaisical.
You got to find a way to say to yourself, this is the last match of the week. It's been an unbelievable week. Suck it up. Give every last ounce you have left. And right now, Carsten Ball's struggling with that internal conversation.
Carsten Ball finished number 11 in 2005 junior rankings, and he was the top junior in Australia that year.
First backhand volley just down the middle of the court gives Sam a good look at the passing shot again, and that's a couple of tied volleys.
Break point for Querrey. He's got one under his belt already. There's Sid Ball. Deuce in this game. Sid Ball has played here in LA a couple of times. Lost to Harold Solomon one year and Brian Fairley from New Zealand once. Meanwhile, Sam Querrey said before the Indianapolis tournament that one of his goals, for the moment anyway, is to get seated at the US Open. Well, he's looking very strong in that department right now, having done so well in both Indy and here.
Let's first.
In spite of himself, he wins the game, and it's 3-1.
I'll tell you, The last 2 points of the last service game when Querrey was up 2-love, I just think Carsten Ball just tanked a couple of points that you just can't show your opponent. Here he got there with plenty of time to make a shot. He just smashed it into the stands about row 5 and didn't even make an effort to make this return. And I think that's the kind of sign that gives Sam Querrey. But having said that, Carsten Ball was able to battle through to hold serve for 3-1. It's still only 1 break. But that kind of effort, you got to find a way to dig a little deeper. I don't care if you've never been in a final before.
Very loud.
And just one other thing, I think it's important to say that when the tank is empty, an athlete can do some things that they wouldn't otherwise do. And I think that includes mentally kind of throwing in the towel here or there, being inconsistent with your emotions. And I think that's what's happening here. The tank is empty.
Sam Querrey serving into the sun again, comes up with a good serving game. He's just a couple of games away from hoisting the trophy here in LA. Darren Cahill promises to log on to USOpenSeries.com before the start of your shows up in Washington, D.C., so that you can become au fait with all of the good stuff that's on there. USOpenSeries.com, standings, TV schedule, etc. It's all there.
I know all that stuff anyway, Cliff.
You know, Cliffy, you got me to do it this morning, and I did it before I went to the gym and played golf and did a few other things, and I forgot to shut my computer. When I came home, I heard Andy Roddick's voice on my computer, and it was just running for like 2 or 3 hours straight of those clips. So it's pretty funny, and it's nonstop unless you close down the window.
4-1 Querrey.
Love the
Well, this would be a huge turnaround for Sam if he can win this match and get his first title of this Olympus US Open Series.
Notwithstanding that last point, I'm not sure he's winning it. He's being handed it really by...
But, you know, he deserves it as well with the amount of tennis that he's played and the great tennis that he's played through this little period. And he moves straight on to Washington next week. If he wins his opening match in Washington, he'll come up against Andy Roddick in the 3rd round. Assuming Andy gets through his first match. But now, you can probably say a couple of match points here at 4-1, 15-40. Chance here for Sam to really stamp his authority on this one.
Carsten's just racing through this now. Big serve, though. You know, one thing I think Sam Querrey's got to watch out for is playing too much now. He's been to every final since Wimbledon. He's supposed to play every week between now and the U.S. Open.
He played team tennis also, Pam, in that week off.
You know, I know he's young, but that's a ton of tennis.
There is the breaker serve. That's the insurance break for Sam Querrey, and looks like in just a couple of minutes he's going to be able to hoist the trophy.
Yeah, he should enjoy this moment as well, Cliff. You know, 5-1, 3rd set here. You're up against an opponent that has nothing left in the tank. Just take your time. Realize what he's done over the last 4 weeks and getting to 3 finals and really put this one away and play some great tennis to finish it off. Finish this off on a high.